Right, is everything coming through? We've got Logic going, we've got Aretha Franklin, we've got my bass. Okay, cool, everything's good. Right, so I thought I'd record this quick video. I say quick video, I'm going to break down the whole track for you. But a student recently asked for me to break down this bass line for him, and instead of sending a WhatsApp message or sending a quick video over, I actually checked out the track, and I mean, I played it on a gig a couple of years ago, but so I'll be kind of like reminding myself of the bass line. But yeah, he sent over this track and said, hey, can you break it down? So I thought I'd just do a whole video of me breaking it down, because I kind of want to learn it as well. So I thought I'd put myself on the spot, just record it, see what happens. Hopefully you get some cool value from this, and I might even chart it out at the end and show you like my process for charting it out. Because the student is a member of the Bassmaster app that I teach people through an app. You can go and download it for free. It's on the App Store and Google Play Store. And there's also an online web version that I'll put a link below this video. And he's actually signed up and he's a member. And on this app, I don't teach just, how to play bass, but also the process of, getting the knowledge and information and then applying it to like gig situations, or practicing for gig situations as well. So this, so I'll break it down and kind of go through my process, like if this song was on a set list for like a gig tomorrow, say, right? And I've got like, I don't know, 40 other songs to learn. Because I'm not going to write it out note for note, because, I'd spend a couple of hours doing this and then I've got another like 39 songs or something to learn. So I'm just purely going to kind of transcribe it, get the gist, get the main themes, get to a level where I know the song kind of inside and out, without writing out every single note. So that's the mission for today. And quickly, before I recorded this video, I was just kind of interested, to be honest, to find out who the bass player was. So I did a quick Google search, and it's Chuck Rainey. I'm no surprise. I mean, he's awesome, and I'm pretty familiar with his stuff, especially like the Steely Dan stuff. But it even mentions, that his bass playing was kind of a game changer on this track. So I think it's the perfect one to break down today for you. And yeah, let's jump straight in and listen to the intro. Okay, so it's like this organ solo, and then it goes into the groove. But before I go into the groove and everything, that like slide, I don't really know if that's a bass or not, or if it could be, percussion thing. It could be, yeah, I don't know if that's a bass or not, but looking his use of extended techniques. So this is why maybe it's important to do some like history on the song. But it mentions here his use of extended techniques, and I know I've played another song where Chuck Rainey was playing bass. It's a Steely Dan song called Kid Charlemagne, and I had to learn that for a band like a year ago or something. And he does something similar. He does like I think it's in like these. Don't quote me on this because I'm not. It's been a while since I've played that song, the Kid Charlemagne song. But I do know it's Chuck Rainey on bass. And I know he does something like a similar kind of techniques, like just sliding like up on the top frets, the dusty end of the fingerboard. He does something similar. So I'm not surprised from, this, and also from playing like Chuck Rainey and kind of checking him out as a player and kind of seeing what kind of stuff he does. And I reckon that is a bass. And people sometimes get confused with these kind of intros. Like one of them is September, Earth, Wind and Fire. The intro bit, how's it go? people think that's like a guitar, and then sometimes I get on gigs and the guitar is playing it, and I'm like, no, man, it's my part. That's actually a bass. So it's kind of cool knowing these things, and also checking out who the bass player was, because some bass players do they have their pocket of things or like tools that they use, and he obviously he likes to slide around, this Mr. Chuck Rainey. But yeah, so I reckon that is a bass. That's my conclusion. So yeah, let's listen to the intro, and then it goes into the groove, and then so let's break down the groove. So it's yeah, it's an A7 kind of funky mixolydian kind of groove. So if you wanna know the scale or the chord that is that they're using, I think it's just pretty much, from what I remember, pretty much like a straight funk kind of James Brown thing all the way through, and it stays on that A7. So if you want to play an A7 or a mixolydian scale, start a D major scale. I'm sure you know a D major scale. Start the D major scale from an A. So same notes, but start on an A. And then you have an A mixolydian scale. The chord being A, C sharp, E, and then the flat 7. And he's the bass line, I should say, is outlining the root, and the flat 7. And then he walks up, something like that. So he's doing a then he's So I should break it down. So yeah, root A, G, and then he's going in between that majory minory thing. Again, this bass line, again, from what I remember, is kind of improvised. So I think it's slightly different. Every bar's gonna be slightly different. So my aim, if I want to play it as authentically as possible without writing out every single note, is to try and get the main theme and main gist of what he's doing and what's going on and what he's repeating quite often. So he does and that's E, G, and then he goes like a chromatic up. So flat 7, G, major 7, G sharp. And I'm putting some ghost notes in there as well. I'm not sure if he's doing that. That's what kind of feels natural to me. And I might even play it now, and then when I'm on the gig, I might, I might feel like the groove doesn't feel right or something with how the drummer's playing it, or whatever the room might sound a bit different. So I might not even put those ghost notes in. Doing 2 little ghost notes before the open E. So I might not even do that, but that's what feels right for me right now. And he's doing that kind of very quick kind of, I don't know what it could be called, like a sting or something, when you hear I don't know, the funky little kind of like a vibrato thing. It's very, very, very subtle though. But yeah, he's doing something kind of like that, not all the time, and I'm not sure if it's going between the second and the third, the minor third, or if it's going kind of this is super subtle stuff, but that's what I heard. Going between that major and minor thing is quite common as well. So mixing up kind of okay, let's quickly take A major pentatonic, and then we'll take A minor pentatonic, and mixing those things up make it sound kind of funky, especially going in between the minor and major third if we're in A7, yeah? So we're in A7. That's the major and minor third. Major third, minor third. You know, that kind of stuff. Cool. So let's listen a bit more to the groove. I think the important thing with the groove is those first two beats, like bam, bam, like as long as you get those first two beats, like that's like the main theme for the bass line, because the rest of it, sometimes he goes, or he can go like, he's kind of like messing around with that in this kind of like boxy kind of shape, with those notes, the root, the flat seven, and the you know, the minor major third and the fifth. He's messing around with those notes, slightly different rhythm, sometimes adding like little ghost notes or muted notes, very subtle things, but pretty much as long as that like bam, bam, the first two notes, the first two beats are there, and that's solid, I'd probably consider that the kind of essence of the bass line or the main theme that you would base it on. And then the rest of it, so that's like beat 1 and 2 is like bam, bam. And then the rest, I'd probably use my ear and improvise, and I'll probably steal some of the things he's doing. I'm not gonna go super crazy, but that walk up, I'll probably do stuff like that, and just change things up depending on what I'm hearing and stuff. So the first two beats are pretty set in stone, kind of based on the bum, bum, and then the next beats, I'll kind of like use my ear and mess around and improvise things, but within the framework. Oh, okay, so there's two things there. Sometimes he's also doing like a hammer on from the G to the A. Yeah, he's doing, so all of these things he's kind of mixing up a bit. Like I can't say do one or the other. As long as they're in the track and stuff, I think it's fine to mess around a little bit with them. Just make sure you're kind of varying it a little bit and changing it up. And also, just when I stop there, he does a, and that's pretty classic, like funk kind of thing, going to the flat seven. Another common one is actually going to the major third. And I'll do that if I want to do like, if I want to stick out in the mix a little bit. So if I'm doing a groove in A7. Just messing around with that kind of stuff. Yeah, but going to, so I should say like leading up, so I'm doing an F, F sharp, G. So I'm like targeting the flat seven. You could do it the other way, right? You could target it from downwards, so A, G sharp, G. If I was going, so yeah, so you can target the G going up and going down. If I was targeting the C sharp, going down, going up, I would go to the C sharp. But actually, again, this major minor thing, right? When you're in like an A7 kind of world, like bluesy world, I would actually go down to the C. These are all like little bassy fills and stuff, but all I'm doing is going between the major world, which could be a major pentatonic or whatever, and the minor world, which could be a minor pentatonic, or I might be using the A minor blues scale, which is very similar, right? So A minor blues scale is 1, minor third, 4, and then that's the blue note. Some people call it, it's like an E flat or D sharp, E, and then flat 7 and root again. And those kind of lines. But back to the bass line, kind of went off on one there. But they're just little things that he adds in. So he goes, oh, that's cool as well. I could maybe go, oh, I'll show you what I'm doing there. So I'm actually playing some ghost notes. Where am I? There I am. No, this way. So I'm doing some ghost notes. So there, I'm actually going, where am I? Here. You can see it properly. So ghost note, and then going up to the flat 7, and then I'm doing like a raking muted thing. Muted notes, ghost notes, and kind of the same thing. So yeah, just bear that in mind. So yeah, up to the flat 7. So slowly. Kind of raking down on my second finger or whatever feels comfortable. I mean, he doesn't do that, but I just thought it was cool. So yeah. But I probably wouldn't do that on a gig if he doesn't do it, if I want to be true to the track and authentic. And my aim is to really sound like Chuck Rainey on this track, right? When I go to play Rocksteady on a gig, I'm thinking I want to play as authentically as possible. He does go, but we'll see how he does that and how he does all the other stuff as well. So let's carry on listening. So yeah, he's kind of mixing those things up. And he kind of like syncopates certain things, and but all those things, again, as long as those 2 notes, actually the exception is when he does go he kind of sometimes doesn't accent the 1 and the 2 like I was saying earlier, but generally it's pretty much like bam, bam, and then whatever afterwards. It could be, and sometimes he hammers on as well, and then he does that other thing. So I'm like, basically I'm transcribing like parts of it and kind of putting it together, trying to play it like him, taking the main themes, being aware of how much he repeats certain things. Like I'm not going to go like that's not in the style, is it? Like just being aware and being tasteful, trying to play it similar to him and what he's doing on the track. Cool. Okay, that's like a typical funk thing, harmonically, right? So you're kind of it's going to the 4 chord. If we're thinking like an A, if we're thinking that as the A7 as the 1 chord, they, without even playing a D, I just knew that was going to a 4 chord. It's like a tension and release thing, and it's a classic James Brown thing as well to do, classic funk thing. But yeah, they go to the 4 chord to kind of release this kind of static harmonic funk groove, which is just stuck on A7. It sounds great. I don't mean stuck in a bad way. And then they go to the 4 chord, which is very, very common in a funk song. So I kind of predicted that was coming up. Yeah, like I said, I haven't played this in a couple of years now, so I'm kind of just reminding myself of what's going on and stuff. So, yeah, and he's very busy as well. He's a lot busier in that when he's on the four chord, doing the D7. And if you want to know how to play a D7, you can start a G major, scale from a D. So G major, but start it on a D. So or you can think of it as a D major scale, but instead of playing a major 7, play a flat 7. So play a C instead of a C sharp. And he's a lot busier. It's kind of like more James Jameson Motown. What my old teacher used to say is like bubbling bass lines where there's a lot of notes going on. Like there's a lot of syncopated notes and lots of stuff going on, but it's not getting in the way of the song. It sounds great. It's just like bubbling underneath, you know. So that's really cool. Let's check out that section again when it goes to the 4 chord. There's a cool drum fill going in as well. And maybe I'll transcribe some of his lines, like I'll check out roughly what he's doing. But I'm not going to do it like note for note. So what I got from that, just that 4 bars, right? So what I'm thinking of, like, you know, say tomorrow I had a gig and I had to play this, I'll be thinking, obviously I don't have time to learn that note for note, so I'll be trying to think of like what he was roughly doing there. Now there's a lot of now I'm thinking the octave thing, that was a part of it. And then I'm thinking the Motown-y kind of vibe, which is a major pentatonic. But when I think Motown, I'm thinking like root, 5th, 6th. Like that kind of shape. And then he does the however you want to think of this, but like if you play in church, you'll know like a gospel shout, right? Probably be in E flat, but we're in D for this. Basically, it's where you go root, and then this is super common, major 3rd, 4th, sharp 4, and then the 5th. But he kind of mixes those 3 things up. So the themes, I should say, is the octave kind of thing. I'm messing around with the octave, and then the other theme is like the Motown, like and the going down to the 3rd and walking up. So there, I was just mixing both of them really quickly. So I'll break it down. So he does, what does he do? He kind of does some offbeat thing. Yeah. It's something like that. So he's going. So the walk down, and then the Motown shape. That's kind of what I call it, where it's like 5, 6, 1. And I'm just kind of mixing in like the muted notes and the ghost notes, but I'm playing around with those 3 kind of ideas, right? And that's what I'm getting from that, because again, I can't transcribe all the whole bass line note for note. I would love to, and I think at one point I will, But if I have like 40 something or 100 songs to learn, then I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get the gist of it. So yeah, I'm messing around with those three things. That's cool. And maybe I'll transcribe some of the lines or some of the ideas. That I love it when he's doing that off the beat, kind of syncopated, like something like that. But he's messing around with the rhythm. A cool exercise, actually, if you do want to get that kind of Motowny walk-up thing in your playing, I would how I did it. I mean, because I can say how I did it is to, again, it's a similar thing, taking those notes and messing around with the rhythm. So just basically sitting there, maybe with a drum groove or a metronome, or just with my internal time, keeping time. I would stick to a theme. So I'm messing around a bit too much there, really, but I'm just kind of almost trying to like throw myself off a little bit before I get on the stage. So if I do go, I'm not like gonna get thrown off the beat. Like if I'm on stage and I'm like, or if I'm, or I mean, whatever variation it is, I'm like, all I'm doing really is just messing around with the rhythm, and then using that framework, the framework being the Motowny, like 1 5 6 or 5 6 1, however you want to, like rearranging the notes, right? Rearranging the order of the notes, rearranging where it sits rhythmically in the bar. So when I come to actually play the bass line, whatever I do, I'm not thrown off. If I'm improvising bass lines, or in this style. Same with octaves. So I've got you can't see, but I've got my foot tapping. So I'm like 1 2 3. Yeah, basically I'm just putting myself on the spot and trying to really like almost throw myself off a little bit, like how far can I push it, you know, because if I feel comfortable improvising with all those syncopated ideas, then I'm not going to get thrown off. Whether I do something on the bandstand or the band does, or the drummer or whatever. So as well as like taking ideas from him as well. Just move your hips with the feeling from side to side. Sit yourself down in your car and take. Yeah, now listening to it, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does it slightly, maybe he doesn't. I would kind of use taste with that, so maybe that's something I would add a little bit, you know, to give my personality or what I hear in my head, you know, using that. Maybe I'll add some more ghost notes, adding my kind of thing to it, but I want to stick more to what he's playing, to be honest. While you're moving rock steady, rock steady. Let's call this song exactly what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is. It's a funky and low-down feeling. What it is, it hits from left to right. Oh, okay. And that's really funny because I was talking about that earlier. he actually goes to the major third. I said that was really common, and he did it. So yeah, the whole, if you missed it, he does the, but you know how I said going to the major third. This is the major third in A7 now. It's really common. He actually did it. That's really funny. Yeah. And I can, in my, because there's a number of different ways to play that, right? You can play it down here, and play it down here, or you can play it up here. Yeah, they're the really two positions. I mean, you can, if you want to change the pitch, I mean, you can play that in many different positions, which I'm sure people know because bass is a symmetrical instrument. But the tone of where he's playing it in my head, well, I'm hearing him play it, is there, up here. It sounds a lot warmer and rounder there compared to down on the lower end of the fingerboard. But the lower end of the fingerboard, it sticks out more. So again, if I was on a gig and I wanted that to stick out, because it's a feature of the song, right? It's part of the song. If you really want to get into the bass player's mind, and say, for example, I did go to, but it wasn't because of the room, because of the frequency, it could be anything. It just wasn't sticking out in the mix enough. Then I would probably play it down there. But I know that he plays it up here. But again, it's very different live to a recorded version, even though this was recorded, in 1970, 71. So yeah, I mean, there you go. Oh, it says down here who the bass player is. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, look, you got everyone in there. Cool. She wrote it, yeah. So I missed my point there, but yeah, no, sorry. It sounds very different when you're on a live gig situation, gig setting. So you might have to change a couple of things, like again, the subtle things. You don't want to change the bass line, but you might have to change muted notes and ghost notes, how much you mess around with the bass line or don't mess around with the bass line, where you play the bass line. Sometimes if I was in a jazz bar, sometimes I'd play more up here to get a woolier sound. But if I played up there and I was going through massive speakers, it's going to sound pretty big. Like it could take up too much space. So I might play it down there. This is all but that's why it's important, right? To know where every note is on the fingerboard and all your shapes. Like learn the shapes, learn the scales, and then come away from those scales and start practicing and start trying to trip yourself up. I don't know if that's the right way of saying it. Try to experiment and improvise a little bit with things, and try and push the boundaries and push the framework of what's going on. Cool. Let's have a bit more of a listen. Now I'm guessing it's going to go to the 4 chord again. So what I might do quickly now, and we're back. So this is I guess part 2. So we've kind of covered the bass line. Now I'm just going to show you guys a pretty useful skill, how to write out a quick lead sheet chart. It could be called a number of things. Yeah, cheat sheet, chart, lead sheet, depending on what we're actually writing on here. For now, so you guys can see, I'm going to share my screen with a software program called Sibelius, where you can write notation and stuff, but you do not need this software. You can go on Amazon, get some manuscript paper, get the old pencil out, and you can actually write it out by hand. So you don't need any software for this. It's just so I can show you guys. So I've kind of already written out a few things. So let me just go through quickly what I've done. So got the chart up. Obviously it's in 4/4. I would say, okay, so it's got this A, like as far as harmony, right? 4/4 time signature wise, I haven't actually added one. I'm gonna put A major, even though I know it's really kind of an A7-y kind of funky bluesy groove. I would probably consider the A as the 1. I'm just gonna put A major. It's a lot easier that way. Right, so yeah, I'll put who it's by, because sometimes who it's by sometimes helps. Like if I don't remember the song title, like if I look at the song title and I'm like, I don't remember learning that song last night. Sometimes I look at the artist and I'll be like, oh, it's that Aretha Franklin funky song. So sometimes that helps, maybe even the bass player as well. So that, yeah, that helps. Any of these, okay, so I put the tempo marking. I don't know if it is 100, it's roughly 100. This is more of like a lead sheet or chart for me, just like my reference. If I was doing a professional chart, like someone was paying me to write charts, or if I was the MD, the musical director for a show, and an artist asked me to write out their the songs or whatever it is, then I would probably do a better job of this. And it would be less of a cheat sheet. It'd be more of a actual proper chart. So this is just for me. This just is just a reference for me, so I can play the song on tomorrow's gig. It's early 2021, so it's lockdown. So obviously there are no gigs at the moment. But this is a really useful skill to be able to chart it down really quickly. This whole process as well would be a lot quicker, obviously, if I wasn't demonstrating. But so yeah, for example, I put intro, bass slides. I know exactly what that means. I've even kind of written it in here. It's just these are very rough. I don't think it's an actual G he's playing, but again, this is just for my reference. Roughly where it happens. This symbol here just means to repeat the previous bar. And the cool thing about this software program Sibelius is that every 4 measures or 4 bars, you get like a little 4 there, so you can keep count and you can keep track of where you are. I also like to group the bars in groups of like 2, 4, 8, you know, to keep things nice and tidy. So it's 4 bars. The intro of the bass slides, as we already know, we've already heard. I've got the track here on YouTube. And then it goes into the groove. So I just put intro groove. This is just all the intro. And then, so I wrote out, this isn't the exact bass line, right? So earlier I was talking about themes and just like those first 2 beats, as long as they're there, the rest of it is slightly improvised. That's what I get from Chuck Rainey's bass line on this track. So, sorry, excuse me. So I've written out 2 bars because that's all I need to really get in the vibe of the song. And this little, I mean, it's not a music reading course, but this little symbol here just means staccato. Whether it is or not, I mean, I'll probably put that. Yeah, cool. Oh, and then this continue sim. All this means is that you repeat the bass line, or you repeat the bass line and stick to the same kind of theme, or and you kind of vary it and yeah, continue similar. That's all it means really. And these slashes just equals 1 beat or 1 quarter note or 1 crotchet. So it's just a way of me not writing out and the whole bass line. It's not going to be nice on the eyes as well if I'm just trying to get the vibe of the track straight away. So I just want to make it as easy for me as possible. So when I get on the gig, it's very, I can focus on listening to the band, playing a solid groove, what's going on in the audience, in the stage or whatever. And I don't have to be focused with my eyes glued to the page. You know, it's not a theatre, depending on the gig. I mean, it's not a theatre show or something, if I was writing charts for a production or a show, then it would be a lot more detailed because your eyes would be on the page. So now verse, chorus, whatever this is, I definitely say that when it goes to the 4 chord, the D7, I would say that's like some sort of bridge or something like that. But whether it's it's not really a standard pop form, like verse, chorus, intro, whatever. It's not really a pop form. It's more of just a funk track with 2 sections. So I could write it as like A section, B section. I mean, again, it doesn't matter too much because it's just for my reference. And this is just my process and I'm going to be reading this. But yeah, I've just put bridge and verse / chorus. You know, it might be technically wrong, but it doesn't matter for the sake of just writing out a quick cheat sheet. So yeah, the slashes I've talked about. Yeah, and what I do is I just separate it into nice 4 bars so I can scan the page, you know, and keep my place as well. I might add some repeats in here because there's a lot of this A7 groove going on. Okay, let's go from the intro and check it's right. Actually, what I might do here is I'm literally just putting myself on the spot and thinking out loud, right? Just so you can see the exact process I'll go through. Wait, so I'm gonna make this bigger. Okay, what I might do is actually just to make it even neater, nicer to read. I'll probably write bass slides here. No, it needs to be bigger than that. I'll say 30. Ooh, no, it's too big. Bass slides, cool. Because I just think I'll still be able to see that. And then it's just very obvious what's going on. And this is when I would say the groove comes in, like when, you know, when the bass comes in, the groove comes in. I could put bass in, but then the bass comes in at the start, doesn't it? Groove in. I would say groove in because you got the backbeat and you got the guitar and everything else comes in. That's more of like an organ-y solo. I might even put, if I wasn't in at the start, if I didn't come in and do these bass slides at the start, I would have put in brackets organ solo or something, or yeah, probably put organ solo. So I know what's going on, even though I'm not in at the top, I'll know what's going on by just putting organ solo, even though it's not like a full-on solo, or organ melody. So this is grooving. So all of this, and then I'd bunch this together. Ooh, this is all the intro. Cool. Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to, sometimes Space does weird stuff. Okay, let's go back to the track. So we were on the groove and then oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. So she comes in, I'll probably put voices in here, right? So this is when she comes in. So that's what I'd write there. Let's go back to where she comes in. Right, so that is actually here, I think. I'll double check that. Yeah, so little things, like I'll write slashes, right, to keep it nice and neat, and so I don't need to write out. I don't want to look at a cheat sheet and see a load of ink, because I'm just going to read it. Ink being like, you know, a load of black dots everywhere, because I will just simply read the black dots, and if it's far away, sometimes I can't read it. So the slashes are just there for me to approximate what's going on. But if there is a feature, a thing that I want to actually put in, like that going up to the 12th fret, and my bass is over there. That's why it's over there. But yeah, like going to the 12th fret, up to that G, I'll put that in, you know, roughly where he puts it in, just to remind myself that he does that. And you know, like this bass line here, these 2 bars, it's not the exact same 2 bars, but I just wanted to put in like the hammer on there. I wanted to make sure I kind of had everything he does, and then I can, you know, vary it depending on my taste and stuff like that. So let's go back. I was kind of counting the bars there. So that goes all the way up to the bridge. Now, I like to keep things kind of easy to read. So, oh, I might be bunched up a bit too much. Maybe yeah, there you go. So like separate, you know, the intro and the verse and chorus, just so I can scan over the page and get what's going on. But that's how long, you know, that's a lot of bars to read. So I'm probably going to group them up and add some like repeat signs, so I don't feel like I have to be counting that many bars, because that's a lot of slashes. You'll probably get, you know, if you scanned your eyes over it, you'll probably get lost, and then you won't know where to come in on the bridge. So you could think of it as 3 bars of 8, maybe. I might think of it like that. I'm going to see what happens in the next verse chorus thing, and then I'll start grouping them. So it does a bridge, and I think the bridge is 4 bars. Let's double check that. Right, so for the bridge, you know, we talked about this earlier, but I would put bubbly. Is that how you spell bubbly? Again, I'm a musician, I don't know. Bubbly bass line. But bubbly bass line, Motown. I'll just put some like words to describe what's, you know, what I want to play. What am I looking for? No, not that one. Bubbly bass line, Motown, just, you know, so I remember what's going on. I might even put capated. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, I hope my English teacher isn't watching. Bubbly bass line, Motown, syncopated, just so I like remember that, you know, I think there's a clear difference between this static funk groove. Harmonically, the chord doesn't change, and it's an awesome groove, so why not repeat it? So there's I want to make a real difference between this part, which is like everyone's like tapping their foot, and then it's like, release into the bridge, goes to a different chord altogether. And Chuck Rainey, being a bass legend, knows, you know, he defines the 2 sections. Like the first section is pretty much based on the same thing. That this one is quite, you know, I mean, I might even, after this video, I might even go and check out just those 4 bars, and see exactly what he does, because I really like it. They're very busy, and I talked about bubbling bass line. Maybe I'll put that bubbling. Is that how you put it? Again, I don't know. Bubbling bass line, Motown, syncopated. That's what I would put. I think it's with an E. Maybe I'll check. it doesn't matter. Bubbling bass line. And yeah, I'll put bridge, whether it is a bridge or not. You know, I'm going to call it bridge. And, you know, when you hear like James Brown famously say, like, take it to the bridge. So that's what I'm going to be thinking. Because I'm kind of thinking a little bit of James Brown here. But yeah, she is the queen of soul. So, right. And then goes back to this part. So it might just go back to here. I'm going to count the second A7 verse chorus groove thing and see what she does. See if it's the same length. It might not be the same length. So. Interesting. Right. Okay. So what I would say is, yeah, I would probably write this, right? And then I'll put, might not even do brackets actually. I think I prefer it without brackets. Easy to read. Okay, what I'm doing here. So I have voice, call and response. She's kind of doing like a, I'm not going to do an Aretha impression actually. That would be very embarrassing. But she kind of does this like scream thing. And then the backing vocals kind of reply to her. So I'm thinking of a call and response thing here. And then she kind of ad-libs. Just ad-libbing, meaning like she's just kind of vibing on the groove before it goes to the bridge. So, and interesting enough, the second time it is 4 bars shorter. So I'm going to go back to the first time. Now I know that. And I'm going to go back to here and see when she does that call and response thing with the backing vocals. So. Move your hips, I feel now. Let's go to steady, baby. That's what I feel now. Let's go the song exactly what it is. Step and move your hips with a feeling from side to side. Sit yourself down in your car and take a ride. And while you're moving, rock steady, baby. Let's call this song exactly what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is. It's a funky and learn I'm feeling. What it is. In the hips from left to right. What it is I might be doing. What it is. This funky dance all night. So she kind of goes, and then the backing vocals are like responding, right? So, but that, the first time, okay, first time it happens here, happens on that bar. So I'm going to write, right? First time. So I'm going to copy and paste this. This is the great thing that you can't do, I guess, with a manuscript. But yeah, I'm going to copy and paste this and I'm going to put repeat here to here. I'm going to make sure that's in there just to remind me. And I'm going to delete these bars, right? So it's the same thing. All I'm doing, so it's 16. So, oh, I'm blocking it up. It's 16 bars, this section, but I'm just going to put repeat marks so it's easier to read. So I'll get rid of these 8 bars and then these 2 8 bars repeat. Yeah. And then it goes to this call and response. You could call it maybe an interlude. I don't know. It's yeah, it's hard to define some of these things because they're just vibing and grooving and sounding cool. But that's what I'd probably write for that section, right? And then then it goes to the bridge. Oh, here we go. So the second time, I don't think I'd write that. I'd maybe do something different. So let's see. So we'll go to the bridge. Yeah, so that's the kind of ad lib bit. I love that little cowbell going on as well. Just realized that. Cool little part there. I might even, so this is really, oh, no, that's too small. This is quite useful as well. So to mark out sections, if you've got a singer that knows what they're doing, I'd actually write in the lyrics sometimes, just as a reference. Maybe I'll make that italic. There you go. So I'd write that like that, just so I've got a reference of if I do lose count, you know, I know, you know, when she goes rock steady baby and it's kind of like a vocal ad lib thing, then I know we're going to the bridge. And also in this bar, there's that big drum fill, isn't there? So I'll remember that as well. But that's when you start relying on other musicians. What you don't really want to do, you want to know it for yourself. But they're just little things there, just in case, as like a safety net. Okay, then it goes to the bridge. So this is the first bridge. So she kind of cuts out 4 bars there, right? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. So I'm actually going to go here and then put like a ×3. So instead of 16 bars, it's 12. And then she goes to the. That's all you're getting. No more singing from me. Wait a sec. Oh, this Zoom thing's in the way. Here we go. Okay, yeah. So then I'll put ×3. Oh, I've lost it. Okay, ×3 down here. I'll make that nice and big so I don't miss it. Maybe make that nice and big. So that means, you know, I repeat these 4 bars 3 times. 3 times 4, 12. Boom. And okay. And then it's pretty much the same. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna copy these bars. Then she does 8 bars, well, 4 bars of this vocal call and response with the BVs. I might actually put that with these backing vocals. And then it goes to that, like, I don't know if it's an ad lib or not, but I'm just going to put that. Then she does the rock steady baby thing, and then it goes to the bridge. And now, yeah, there we go. I don't really need to write bubbling bass line, Motown thing. I already knew that from the last time. I'll remember. That's fine. Cool. So we're kind of up to the second bridge now. But let's just double check that. Yeah, so she doesn't say rocksteady in the first bar. That's why I put it there, but it doesn't really matter. She is kind of just like, you know, having fun for 4 bars. And then, yeah, the same kind of drum fill as well. So if you're not, you know, I'm going to keep that in my head. Like I'm going to trying to remember on the gig, like if I do lose my place, I know that there's a big big tom drum fill going into the bridge. So I'll probably pick up on it anyway. Also, if the drummer does do that and he's in the wrong place, and then the singer goes there, if the singer and the drummer go there and he does that big fill and it's in the wrong place, I'm probably going to go with them, because you should probably follow the singer even if they're wrong. That is very case by case, you know. I'm not going to say that for every situation, but, you know, if you're playing to a click track, definitely don't. If you're playing with a band and you're vibing, you know, if the drummer and the singer go there, yeah, I'll probably go there, probably go to the bridge. But that's just something to bear in mind, that drum fill. Okay, so go to bridge. Wait a sec. That is 4 bars, yeah. Let me check that. Yeah, so we're at that cool thing there with the drum break. So what I would do there, so you've done the second bridge, and then I would call this like horn interlude. It's that horn line. That's the main feature I would be listening out for. That's 4 bars. And then there is a drum break, which is cool. So yeah, I would put, it's not a drum solo. I would put, sorry, I said that. I'll put drum break, yeah. I would put drum break. And I might even, I don't want to get too bunched up on this page here. No, the chart's looking all right. I'm just going to save. There you go. Cool. So yeah, it goes to like that horn interlude. Horn interlude. Maybe I'll put slash melody. Yeah, yeah, something like that. Just so it's something that I can recognize. Then drum break. I might put the stabs. Other stabs. Yeah, nice. So Chuck, the bass player, Chuck Rainey, he just plays on the one. So I might just put bam. I might accent that. It's, you know, and it's pretty, if you use your musical intuition, you'll probably, you know, accent that first beat anyway, but that's the drum break. I like that. That's cool. I might keep that in my head to kind of pick up on that. The 1, 2. I might even play that on bass. That he doesn't play it on bass in the track, but I'm just kind of like keeping these things, and I'm aware of these things. So if I do want to pick up on that on the end of the drum part to make it sound cool and tight, I'll make the band sound tight and stuff. It's just a cool extra thing that I'm kind of keeping an eye on. Yeah, I'm listening quite heavily to the drums and what they're doing, and also percussion as well. It's cool, some cool percussion on here. So drum break, and then it just goes. I think it just goes back to that A7y kind of groove again. So it doesn't. Yeah. Drum break, bridge, cool. We're almost done. So yeah, it's that same thing again, you know, I said I wouldn't sing again. Yeah, it's that same thing again. So the call and response. I don't know if it's call and response, but you know, it's the BVs and she's doing the screamy thingy. That's, you know what I mean. So he actually misses beat one, which is pretty funny. Chat Rainey, which is cool. I might, you know, put that in. Yeah. Okay, so there's obviously some sort of like horn line going on after that. Yeah, so it's the same thing. You know, I'm playing the same groove, or you know, the bass player, whoever's playing it, bass player is playing the same groove. But knowing what's going on is really useful, because I could just put at the end, I could just put a load of slashes, but just giving myself, here we go. And again, if the horn section goes, no, I would put, I would say that's a proper horn line slash melody. That's a full on, like, you know, that's a big part of the song. So I would, and that's a real cue for what's coming up and what's going on. So I would definitely put that in. Right, so it's a fade out. Okay, so if it's a fade out, I'd probably just end the chart there. I would write in fade out and just make sure. I would actually, if I had a set list of all the songs, like I've had them all written out, next to Rock Steady in brackets, I'll put fade out, and then make sure that the band and I know exactly what we're going to do on that fade out, because those are the kind of things that can catch you out at the, you know, you can start the song well, you can play the song well, and then the ending sounds crap, and that's what people remember. So so yeah, I would definitely write fade out down here. And if I was like MD, I would be thinking in my head of what or fade out, of what would happen at the end. Like, so if I was MD, I would probably end this, I'd probably repeat it twice and then end on the rhythm of the horn line. That could be one way of ending it. That'd probably be the most natural way I can think of ending it. But you know, it's up to whoever. You can end however you want. You could end on the intro again. Sound a bit crap. No, yeah, it's completely up to. But I'm just being aware of, like, okay, I know it's fade out, and you know what's going to happen. Basically, looking around. Like, if I write fade out in the chart, and we didn't decide on what to do, I'm going to be looking around at the other guys, like, what's going on? Like, how are we going to end this? I'm just going to make the chart a little bit neater. I'm just going to put a, yeah, cool. So that will look a bit neater now. I don't know if that is a verse or chorus, but I'm just gonna leave that in because it doesn't really matter. Got the intro there. Yeah, so that's the song analyzed, Rock Steady. We went through everything and how I would approach it. I mean, this can be, obviously, this is just my way of approaching it. This can be different for everyone, but this is how I would do it. And then, you know, I would export this. I'll leave a link to this chart below this video, so you guys can check it out and maybe play along and see how you would write it differently. But it's just giving you ideas of how how to quickly write things out. I mean, okay, so this whole process of learning the song, writing it out would take me, I mean, this video is probably now over an hour, but the whole process would not take me that long at all. Especially if I've played the song before. It would only take me a few minutes to do all of this, but I just wanted to break it down for you guys. Yeah, I think that's it really. So all I would do here is save it as a PDF, and then that's it. So yeah, if you want me to do like more long breakdowns and like analyze bass lines and songs, and maybe even like fully transcribe the whole bass line in the future for like other videos or other songs, let me know. And if you ever, you want to get in contact or anything, or you want help doing and implementing some of this, and you want to, improve your bass playing, or it could be with regards to sight reading, groove, slap bass, or it can be anything, then feel free to download the Bassmaster app in the App Store and the Google Play Store. If you type in Bassmaster X, it should come up. And yeah, and feel free, and then all the details are within the app, so you can contact me through the app, and yeah, we can start doing more cool videos like this and funky bass lines. And let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys.